Every greeting from a woman is a tiny emotional universe. It's not just words, it's energy, it's intention, it's feeling carefully wrapped in politeness or humor, trying to disguise what her heart already knows, but her mind is still negotiating. You see, women don't just greet, they connect through subtle emotional signals. And when she secretly wants you, that connection becomes unmistakably personal. When she greets you differently, it's not coincidence, it's chemistry. Maybe she smiles in a way that lingers just a little longer, her eyes soften, or her tone shifts into something warmer, almost musical. That small change is her emotional system reaching out. It's not always conscious. Most times it's her nervous system betraying her heart. The greeting that feels slightly different is her body saying what her lips won't dare to admit you mean something. Sometimes she'll greet you with excitement, as though your presence just lifted her mood. That burst of energy isn't fake. It's the biological spark of dopamine, the same chemical released when we experience something or someone we deeply desire. Her "hey" might sound casual, but the energy behind it is alive, it's charged. It's her subconscious saying, "You make me feel something I can't ignore." Other times it's the opposite. Her greeting might become soft, quiet, or even hesitant. She may look away quickly after saying hello, almost as if she's trying to hide the emotional rush you trigger inside her. That awkwardness isn't disinterest, it's protection. It's her feminine instinct to guard her heart before it's safe to open. Women feel deeply, and when they sense emotional danger, like the risk of liking someone too much, they retreat into subtlety. But the nervous tone, the shy smile, the way she suddenly fidgets, those are signs her emotions are already involved. Then there are women who greet you playfully, teasingly, even sarcastically. Psychology calls this as deflective attraction. She uses humor as her emotional armor. She wants to keep the interaction light so you don't see how much you affect her. Her laughter, her little jabs, the way she mocks you gently, all of that is a dance, a way of saying, I want you to notice me, but not too much, not yet. That balance of openness and resistance is what makes feminine energy so fascinating. It never reveals itself all at once. If you want to understand female psychology deeply, observe not her words, but her energy. Watch how she greets you compared to others. Does her tone shift? Does she initiate the greeting first? Does she look genuinely happy to see you, even when she tries to play it cool? Women are emotionally intuitive creatures, but when they like someone, their intuition starts betraying their control. She may plan to act normal, but her smile gives it away. Her body angles toward you. Her pupils slightly dilate. Her laughter comes easier. These are not random details. They are her emotions speaking before she even realizes they've spoken. A woman's greeting is never random. It's emotionally coded. Every smile, every tone shift, every subtle hesitation carries a deeper emotional message, often far more revealing than words themselves. Female psychology shows that women communicate their emotional world, not just through speech, but through energy, through micro expressions, through how they make you feel. When they say something as simple as, to the untrained eye, it may look casual, but for someone who understands emotional dynamics, her greeting becomes a language of its own. When a woman secretly desires someone, her entire body unconsciously participates in that greeting. Her tone becomes softer, more musical. Her eyes linger a little longer. Her energy feels warmer. These cues are not consciously designed, they're emotional leaks. A woman might rehearse neutrality in her mind, trying to seem unbothered, but her emotional state always seeps through. Psychology tells us that emotional energy cannot be fully suppressed. The more she tries to hide attraction, the more it shows up in the smallest gestures. That greeting, that smile, that glance, all are encoded with emotion her words cannot yet express. Imagine this: she sees you unexpected. Before she even speaks, her face changes. Her pupils slightly dilate. Her lips curve. Her shoulders straighten as if her body suddenly becomes aware of its own presence. When she says your name, there's a different rhythm in her voice. Almost like her heart beats inside her words. That is not random politeness. That's emotional coding. She may not even realize it herself. But her subconscious is sending signals of recognition, signals that say, you matter here. So you see, women are naturally expressive creatures. Their communication style is layered, emotional and intuitive. When attraction enters the picture, this emotional intelligence heightens even more. Her greeting becomes her testing ground. Can she show warmth without exposing her vulnerability? Can she express care without confessing desire? This inner tension makes her greeting charged with hidden meaning. She wants to connect, but also wants to stay in control. She's saying hello, but emotionally she's asking, is it safe for me to let you closer? That's why her greeting changes depending on who you are to her. If you are just another person, her tone is stable, neutral, polite. But if she feels something deeper, you'll notice fluctuations, sometimes cheerful, sometimes slightly nervous, sometimes shyly quiet. Each variation reveals her emotional state. A woman's voice tone can carry up to 10 layers of unspoken meaning, from comfort to desire to hesitation. Her words may say, "Hi, how are you?" But her energy says, "I thought about you before I saw you." Even her timing reveals intent. When she greets you first, it's rarely accidental. Women are selective initiators. They don't offer emotional warmth unless they feel a spark. A woman who secretly wants someone will often find excuses to greet him, to acknowledge his presence, even in subtle ways. She may wave from across the room, make eye contact before speaking, or greet you with that extra brightness that doesn't show up with others. This is her emotional radar locking onto yours, a quiet attempt to create connection without confessing it. Body language amplifies the message. Her posture during that greeting can reveal everything. If she leans slightly toward you, if her torso faces your direction, if her hair touch or slight self-adjustment happens as she says hello, these are instinctive displays of feminine awareness. Psychology calls these preening behaviors unconscious signals of attraction, where a woman subtly enhances her appearance when the person she desires appears. She doesn't plan them, her biology does. Her body reacts to the emotional chemistry before her mind can regulate it. Even when she tries to act normal, there's a difference in how she greets you. She may look more composed, speak more carefully, even greet you with less emotion, but underneath that control lies tension. The more she tries to suppress her feelings, the more unnatural her neutrality becomes. Her greeting feels rehearsed, as if she's trying too hard to seem unaffected. That's another code. When a woman is emotionally neutral, you can feel the calm. When she's pretending to be neutral, you can feel the restraint. That emotional friction is the silent proof of her hidden desire. What most people miss is that a woman's greeting reflects the emotional story playing inside her. If she's battling between attraction and fear of vulnerability, her greeting will feel inconsistent. Sometimes warm, sometimes distant. If she's emotionally confident and feels safe, her greeting will flow effortlessly. But if she secretly wants you and isn't ready to admit it, her greeting becomes emotionally charged, unpredictable, almost like a melody trying to find its rhythm. You might notice her voice drops slightly, becoming softer and more intimate, even in public spaces. Or perhaps her greeting feels more personalized. She uses your name more often, or repeats it unconsciously, as if savoring the emotional sound of it. That's how the female psyche processes emotional closeness, through repetition and emotional memory. Each greeting becomes an emotional imprint, strengthening her connection with you without a single direct confession. The truth is her. No woman greets a man she secretly wants the same way she greets anyone else. She can mimic composure, but she cannot hide emotion. It will always leak through the warmth in her tone, the softness in her eyes, the slight tremble in her voice, or the unconscious smile that escapes the moment she sees you. Her greeting becomes her emotional signature, one that only those attuned to emotional intelligence can decode. So when you notice a woman greet you in a way that feels different, a little too warm, too personal, too sincere, don't rush to label it coincidence. It's not random, it's coded emotion. It's her subconscious testing if you can read her energy. Because women rarely express attraction directly. They communicate it through these emotional micro moments, hoping someone emotionally intelligent will finally understand. Her greeting is not just a hello, it's a whisper from her heart disguised as casual interaction, waiting for someone to listen deeply enough to hear what she didn't say out loud. When a woman gives attention, it's never meaningless. Attention in female psychology is emotional currency, something she spends carefully, especially around someone she secretly desires. When she greets you with more warmth, more focus, or a slightly different tone than usual, it's because you've managed to occupy space in her emotional world. Women don't give their energy to what doesn't move them. That extra second she takes to look at you, the way she adjusts her voice, or even the way she positions herself when you arrive, it's all a quiet confession of interest, cloaked in casual behavior. Attention is not about the quantity of words she says, but the quality of presence she gives. A woman's greeting becomes emotionally charged when she feels something. Even if she's trying to hide it, her tone softens, her expression becomes livelier, or sometimes her eyes light up before her lips even move. These are not rehearsed acts. They're emotional reflections of her inner state. Women feel attraction emotionally first and intellectually later. So when her emotions are engaged, it leaks through in subtle ways. You don't have to hear the words, "I like you," to know what her energy is already saying. What most men don't realize is that women are naturally protective of their emotional attention. They rarely give it away easily because they understand its power. When a woman acknowledges you with extra energy, it means she has subconsciously elevated your emotional importance. You stand out in her awareness. She may still pretend to be casual, but her behavior tells a deeper story. You'll feel it in her timing, how she makes eye contact first, how her greetings seem slightly more enthusiastic than necessary, or how she remembers small details about you without trying to. All of this is attention born from emotional investment. Female psychology reveals that attention is a form of nurturing. When a woman invests emotionally, she becomes more observant, more attuned to the person who's caught her interest. So even something as small as her greeting reflects that emotional involvement. She might comment on how you look, tease you lightly, or mirror your tone unconsciously. Mirroring is a powerful sign. Psychologically, it means her emotional state is syncing with yours. Her body language, her expressions, her rhythm all begin to subtly align with the person she's drawn to. It's her subconscious trying to create harmony, a way of saying, I feel connected to you. When attraction deepens, attention becomes more intentional. She begins to shape her greeting differently depending on the emotional impact she wants to create. Sometimes she'll use warmth and charm to draw you closer. Other times she might pull back, greet you with composure, testing if you'll notice the shift. This back and forth is not manipulation, it's emotional protection. Women test through contrast. By varying their attention, they observe your response. Do you miss the warmth? Do you notice when she's distant? If you do, she learns that her attention has value to you, and that emotional validation strengthens her attraction further. Attention also reflects comfort. When a woman feels emotionally safe, her greetings become more expressive. She'll initiate first, make playful remarks, or hold eye contact without breaking it. But when she's uncertain, she may greet you with restraint, using minimal words but loaded energy. In both cases, the emotional meaning lies not in what she says, but how she says it. Female psychology teaches that women use emotional cues as a subtle form of communication, especially when they fear rejection or judgment. So her attention is her way of saying, I'm here, I see you, I feel something, without exposing too much of her heart. What's even more interesting is how attention reveals consistency. When a woman secretly wants someone, her greetings never lose that spark, no matter how much time passes. There's always that slight emotional tension, the smile that seems too genuine, the voice that unconsciously softens when she says your name. This consistency is crucial. Emotional attention is not something a woman can fake over time. If her feelings aren't real, her energy fades quickly. But if she's genuinely drawn to you, that attention remains steady, even if circumstances change. She might act composed, but her emotional investment doesn't lie. You might notice her finding reasons to engage. Even in subtle ways, she greets you first even when she doesn't have to, or she creates small opportunities to say hello just to reconnect. This is her emotional mind seeking reassurance. Women are emotionally driven creatures, and consistency in greeting behavior is a sign that her subconscious keeps seeking that same emotional comfort every time she sees you. Each greeting becomes a small emotional ritual, a way to maintain a connection she's not yet ready to verbalize. Even the smallest gestures become meaningful. Maybe she adjusts her posture when you appear, smooths her hair, or changes her expression instantly from neutral to warm. These micro movements are psychological giveaways. Her attention shifts the moment you enter her environment. It's not deliberate, it's instinctual. Female attention works like emotional gravity. It pulls toward the person who emotionally stimulates her. She might not understand why, but she'll feel it, and her body will naturally respond to it through subtle behavior. And here's the deeper truth. When a woman gives attention through her greeting, she's offering emotional vulnerability in disguise. She's revealing that you affect her mood, that your presence influences her emotional state. That's powerful. Women guard that kind of vulnerability carefully. So if she gives it to you repeatedly, if she greets you with that special energy only meant for you, understand it's not just friendliness, it's emotional intimacy waiting for recognition. The key to understanding women lies in emotional sensitivity, not logic. You can't decode her feelings through her words alone. You have to feel the energy behind them. When she greets you with attention,